So it seems like we are entering a new era in hip hop, as Charlemagne the guy would call it, mumble music. You got the Rich Homie Quans, you got the Young Thugs, you got the Futures, you got the designers, you got just a plethora of artists out here that when they create music, when they put out content, you can't understand a word that these individuals are saying. Yet and still, they are still producing hits after hit after hit after hit, and some people are falling in love with it. Even the people that hate the music, for some reason, they still say, "Hey, man, like this stuff is catchy. I don't know why I like it, but I like it." You know what I'm saying? Uh, what is it? What do you think it is about this style of music um, that people have just grown to have a love hate relationship with?
Man, it's just the evolution of hip hop, man. Hip hop gonna evolve because it's here to stay, and each generation gonna put their own twist on it. You know what I'm saying? Like we a long way from I said the hip hop, the hippie to the hip hop. You know I mean we might not be a long way. And I take that back. I don't know because you know what I'm saying as far as like styles go, yeah, we far from where it started with like Sugar Hill Gang and Cold Crush, and, Busy Bee, all those different people, Double Trouble. Like what it started as, it was a movement for everybody. You know, it was a movement for everybody who had that common ground of, man, we working hard, we just trying to kick it and party, but you got to turn up in our own way. And the reason why people don't realize why they like stuff so much is because when you get into the habit of routinely listening to anything, it's gonna stick with you. And so that's why people like, man, it's just so catchy. A lot of people really do like it, but a lot of people just like it because that's the only thing you hear. Like when you listen to the radio, you don't get the same diversity that you got, years ago. You get, man, I literally can, go to like the local radio stations and listen to each station for like an hour a piece, and they all got the same playlist just about. And then they do different little things as far as like, oh, they might dedicate a hour to local music, or they might dedicate some time for just requests. But a lot of times the requests end up being the same stuff they've been playing all day, or they might switch it up at night, late night. They want to play some some laid back mellow out music, some quiet storm stuff, But I mean, when we talk about hip hop, man, it's gonna always it's hip hop is a true black art form. And so when you talk about a true black art form, you have to go back in time and think about what are the roots and the origins of black music. You start off with blues, gospel, jazz, rock and roll, and each of them at a particular point, even gospel, when they start changing up, when they start adding the bluesy guitar sound in there, it was like, oh, that's don't bring the guitar in church. That's the devil's music. The older people didn't understand why the young folks liked this blues guitar in there so much. When rock and roll first came out, Chuck Berry jumping across the stage, dancing, and you know what I'm saying, he dancing and shaking his hips and all type of stuff. Mothers and fathers, oh, don't do that. That's the devil's music. I don't understand why y'all like that loud music. Jazz, even when it started out, jazz was something that the young folks were into because of swing music and things. But when it started changing, they started having like acid jazz and all that type of stuff. People was just like, what is that? That's not jazz right there. Jazz, he ain't playing no notes. He ain't play. He just hitting different valves on the trumpet and calling it a sound. And so and even when jazz got to the point where it was popular to scat, you know what I'm saying? Now you're getting Now you're getting not even words, you're getting sounds and notes, but just however they come out, however you process them in your mind, that's what you just said with your mouth. And so now we got hip hop. It started off as like something that everybody could hear, the young people could hear the exact words to what everybody was saying. Years later, the style speeds up. You got people like Twista, Bone Thugs and Harmony, you know, just different people who so-called twist, and then people like, man, I don't understand that either. But then you had people that had a keen ear, and they were listening, and they were playing it over and over again. They were catching the words, and then now you got quote unquote mumble music, and so, but I look at it like this right here. This is literally hip hop's version of jazz scatting. this is literally that, because these guys, there's a talent in what they're doing. You might disagree with how Young Thug dressed. You might disagree with what Future say sometimes in his interviews. You might disagree with the performance of what Designer is doing when he's on stage. You might disagree with all that, but they have an ear for sounds and melodies. You know what I'm saying? They melodic rappers. So a lot of times it's like, man, I don't understand what they're saying. But people like, but it sound good. Okay, because they really didn't have much to say. But they're expressing what their mind is telling, like, you know what I'm saying? Hunna. Yeah, you know, they're just doing that, and it's like that's a whole different process of songwriting. You're not focused. They're not focused on, I'm finna bar you out. No, they like, ooh, I'm finna make some music with my mouth. And that's what they do. But we weren't complaining about it when Cab Calloway was hidey, your grandparents weren't complaining about that. Hey, when Al Jarreau, sweet up, dee da dee da dee 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 da da da. You was like, man, they just like, man, that's talent. And so now you got Designer, and it was funny when the Double XL came out. Like when I heard it, I was like, man, it sounds like an African chant. Yeah, I was like, it sounds like you finna go get ready to, they marching off the wall with the Zulu. I was like, man, that dude, what the tribe is that? You know, I want to join. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting ready for make some rain music. You know what I'm saying? Make some rain dance music. But
so you said they're actually going back to the essence of hip hop in a sense.
They are doing, and don't take this as like something deep. They are taking it back to the origins of what black music represented for those who the oppressed back then. The gospel and the blues a lot of times express like sadness or sorrow, but a lot of times they sang songs to uplift themselves. And so now these guys basically, most of the time, they want you to just, hey, we ain't really gonna talk about the struggles a whole lot, but we're gonna try to make you turn up. We're gonna try to make you happy. And so they take it back to the essence of what I call what black music is. It's a feeling. It's the soul and it's the passion. And so they just try to create feelings, I believe. They try to create passion. And, you know what I'm saying? Like they want basically when this come on, I want everybody to go crazy. You know what I'm saying? With gospel music, man, a lot of that stuff was just back then was just, you know, and it was, you know, that's all they needed to just start feeling like, let me move. You know what I'm saying? On the plantation, you gotta realize what church was the one getaway day they had to be. That's why church lasts so long. The slaves would go to church on Sunday, and man, it was the one time they probably really didn't have to work. And so we can avoid going back to our, you know what I'm saying, our cabins, going back to the plantation. We're going to sit at this church all day and sing and dance and shout and feel as good as we can to get back just to Monday. And I think that's part of the reason why they make their music. I think they just make music just to be like, hey, I know it's a lot of poor people out there, but everybody want to party still. Everybody want to turn up. Why not? Why not do that? And it's effective, I think, because of the fact that like the young people, the ones listening to the music, a lot of times they carefree about most situations in life anyway, unless they just really got a mind to sit there and try to decipher all the BS that life that life throws at other people and throws at their parents and themselves. But for the most part, man, they just be looking for a break. I know when I work with kids, when they see me, they don't even want to touch a pen or a paper. It's a struggle. Hey man, we just fed you something. Can you say your name? Oh God, oh. They've been writing with their pens all day. They've been on their calculators and everything all day. They just want a break. I just want to eat this food and go sit down somewhere, put my earbuds in. And, you know, that's what it's about. But one thing about hip hop is, man, you know, when you start to not understand what's going on in hip hop, that's just a sign that, like, this is not your generation of hip hop. There's still going to be moments which you're going to like other things, too. There's always going to be guys like, I'm not saying that these guys are going to come around every generation, but I'm saying there's always going to be talented individuals they got the lyrical wordplay that you're looking for, that the producers who are still like musicians, that know how to play the instruments and everything. They're gonna be people that come across that because music don't stop. We pass, just like we pass down this stuff in hip hop, we pass down other art forms through generations. So the church always gonna be grooming the next musician. There's always gonna be a band that's teaching the next jazz musician. But with hip hop, man, when you start feeling disconnected from the music, that just means that this music is probably for that younger generation.